Hello everyone,
guys.
and you're welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Oli and
My name is Dara, guys. You're welcome.
you're welcome. So, congratulations to you if you're watching this video and you're planning your wedding. We decided to do this video because we've had about 2-3 couples that have reached out to me or us asking us how we were able to plan our wedding because maybe one of the partner or the partners stay here in the UK and the other one is back home. All right, so we decided to just pretty much share how we went about it.
Yeah, I mean, this video is very useful to people who are planning your wedding. You know, if you're not together in a place, we planned our wedding when I was back in Nigeria and she was here, and we pretty much want to share you just in short. How do I put it? Very short tenses.
Hopefully short.
Yeah.
How don't emphasize on it too much. Okay, so the first thing we did was that we agreed on the kind of wedding that we wanted. So I remember that when we were dating, he was always asking me what kind of wedding I wanted, and I always told him I wanted it to be, something intimate. And one of the things I told him was that I didn't want to do what we call the white wedding. And I remember he asked me why. Do you remember the reason I gave you?
Yeah, you said it wasn't our wedding. The main wedding was the traditional wedding.
Voila, yeah. So I told him that a white wedding was a repetition of what we call the traditional wedding. The white wedding is the traditional wedding of the British or the Western world, So the traditional wedding, as we call it, is our main wedding. So I wasn't interested in anything white wedding. I just wanted the traditional and I wanted the court wedding.
Yep. So we had 2 weddings to plan. That was the court wedding and the traditional wedding. And we had to plan the court wedding first.
Yeah.
And then 1 week later, we
did the traditional wedding. Do you want to tell them how the traditional wedding was, just briefly?
Yeah.
How we planned it. Was it simple?
It was, I think it was elaborate enough. We had everybody that we needed to come attend.
30 guys.
30?
We planned for 30, but we didn't have up to 30.
In our traditional wedding?
Court wedding.
Okay, I thought you were asking about traditional wedding.
I said the court wedding. Do you want to tell them how the court wedding was?
I would have actually said you said traditional wedding, but if it was a court wedding, we had like 30 heads.
Let's say traditional.
Guys, tell us what she said. We'll check the video up to now. Anyway, so for the court wedding, we wanted to keep it very simple. We wanted to keep it in our close circle and kind of address some of the people that wouldn't have made it to our traditional wedding because it was going to happen in her village in the east.
Why did you in her village?
In the east. So we kept it. We had an accommodation where we had a place where people could come for like a reception. It was in a house. Shout out to Mayor for letting us use his apartment.
My sweet brother-in-law.
Yeah, I mean, and we also had the arrangement. Just 4 people went to court. It was a long process, babe. We spent about 4
It wasn't supposed to be really, but they just kept us sitting but we don't want to get into all those details.
Yeah, we spent 4 or 5 hours there. We had, after that, we came back to our reception and we had our guests come in and we took pictures and we just met, the family just talked, and it was a cool, cozy evening that we relaxed in.
So for the court wedding, it happened in Lagos, and again, how did we go about it, considering that I was in the UK and he was in Nigeria? We pretty much had to reach out to somebody who was working there because he did not have the time because he was working fully, right? So we had to reach out to somebody who was working there, and I was the one that did the communication, spoke with the person as regards a date, and we were given a date. Then they asked for details like my name and his name, all those details, email, phone number, where we're from, blah, 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 blah. And that was it. We were given a date. We made payments, I think about 20-something thousand, I can't remember now. So we made the payments, and on the day, we upped and we went for the wedding, and that was it.
And we sold, I had this nice.
Yeah, he made his suit, and I bought a dress.
Nice dress.
And that was it. Really.
We went there and we had our witnesses. We had 2 witnesses, Chidima and Mayo, of course.
Yeah.
And then that was it. We signed the papers and we were good to go.
And we were married.
Yeah, at least the first lap done.
Okay, so that was pretty much the agreement. Something small, simple. Even our traditional wedding, I don't think we had to break our backs for it, but we're just going to go on to the next point. Do you want to go to the next point?
Yeah. So you don't have to break your bank for a wedding. I really do not believe in um spending everything for a wedding. I think after the wedding comes the marriage, right? And you really need to be ready, especially when you guys have plans that will require funding, that require dedication. It's more about both of you anyway. Some people might have partners that really want a big wedding, and if you choose such a partner, then you have to also give that big wedding anyway. That's my belief. I believe two people have to agree, right,
Yeah.
and say this is what we want, and then do it.
And I think pretty much
We
like
agree.
you also have, when you agree, then there has to be like maybe a conversation as regards contribution, because
Yeah.
it would be unfair to leave it to one person.
Absolutely,
know?
absolutely. So it was mutually contributed. We worked hard for our wedding. We planned it. We had very big details. We were much into the details. We wanted to make sure that everything that was really important was ticked off. And so at the end of the day, it was very efficient, and we didn't have to spend a lot of money. Everything that we really wanted to happen actually did happen.
Yeah. And then the third thing about the planning was that we had loads and loads of communication.
Yeah.
Because again, because of the distance barrier, is that what it's called? Yeah. We had to always talk, mostly in the evenings whenever he's back from work. And sometimes, for example, maybe to buy something, and maybe he didn't have a contact. I just saw this person, oh, so my husband's going to reach out to you, and he does the connect. There was constant communication, and that helped us a whole damn lot. I think that takes us to the next point, where because of communication, we had to create
a plan. I mean,
a
clearly,
Google sheet.
Communication is key, but also planning is very important.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm the numbers guy. I like to get into the numbers. I like to see the numbers. So we had a Google sheet where we had created we had listed line item by line item all the activities and all the items, including everything that had to do with the bride price, every single thing, the occasion. We had it in different buckets. We had the occasion. First of all, we had the court wedding and all the elements. Then we had the traditional wedding. And then in the traditional wedding, we had the bride price, we had the occasion, we had all the elements, line, decoration, everything, all the elements in the line item. And then we pretty much had a quote for all the elements. And then as we were fulfilling, we were ticking off.
We had an estimated, and then we had an actual.
So the quote, and then we had the actual, and then we had completed. And this sheet is super important. I mean, some people will say they're not interested in numbers, or they don't want to look at numbers or look at an Excel or Google sheet. But to be honest, it just helps you go into the details, because you have to put line item by line item, and it makes it interesting for you to see what is costing the money, and then you can debate, do we really need to spend this much? Can we have alternatives? I think that was it. It just helped us put down a concrete plan for every single thing that we wanted, and then have an estimated amount for them. And then before we started spending, we already knew how much everything would cost.
And it really helped us, because even the cash gifts that we got, we could actually put it to good use, not using it to pay off debts.
Absolutely.
So it was really, really important for us, right?
Yep.
Then the next thing we did was, pretty much keeping it simple with the vendors. Because again, like I initially said, he was, very pretty busy, and I wasn't physically around. My sister, who already has her life going on, I wasn't about to go disrupt that. My mom, I wasn't about to go keep sending her up and down. So we had to keep it simple. Hey, Oluchi, what kind of cake do you want? Please, just do this kind of cake. In fact, for most of the things, we already had pictures.
Yep.
Exactly like this. No long story.
We already had agreed pictures, so once it just post.
Exactly.
Claude,
what kind of cake do you want? Please, this cake. They did it. Oh, the first
Yes.
clothes you're going to wear to come out. What do you want to wear? This is it. Oh yeah, so it. Okay, the other one, the main one, the one you want to go and welcome your husband. The
Oh
one you're
my
going to
God.
wear. This is the picture. So it's so it was really straight to the point. It was really
Yeah.
really straight to the point. I think the only downside I had was the fact that my dress was measured because I had to do like a virtual tailoring session.
I did
And
not laugh.
by the time I came
I
back, I had
did not
already
laugh.
added weight. So I was bigger than my dress, literally.
My
You
babe
know?
was licking ice cream back to back. Ice cream, ice cream. She
Babe,
was screaming and
Don't
ice cream.
it was on Oga.
Okay,
Don't lie on me.
sorry, I won't lie on you. Okay, she wasn't licking ice cream, but she added weight. Okay,
It's not the ice cream that makes someone add weight.
that weight that you added is ice cream.
Oh my days.
All right,
My
guys.
goodness. So we had to start like doing adjustments
Yeah.
and stuff, which I'm really grateful to like my tailor. I must give her a shout out, phone care. Thank you so much. And also to the tailor in my village. I know she's not going to see this video, but thank you. Because by the time I took the dress to the village, my mother was like, are you gonna breathe in this thing? Are you sure you are gonna be able to eat in this thing? She just dragged me to the tailor's place and they cut, adjusted and everything at least, and I could breathe in it. I didn't even come back to the UK with the dress. I left everything there, So we had to keep everything very, very simple. Even down to the drinks, babe. When they come and say, oh, my husband will say, please, okay, you put 1 star. How many cartons of star do you want? If you just tell us the number, don't be doing about what is the exact number.
Exactly.
So everything had to be kept simple so that we'll be able to, fulfill them, right? Considering our situations at that time. So
Yep.
which brings us to the next point.
The next point is really planning ahead. I think this is super important, not just for wedding planning, but for any other event that you're doing, any other plans that you have to execute, anything that has to do with execution. It's just super important to plan ahead. You have to picture the day just before it happens. You have to imagine, right? And then based on that imagination, you begin to build plans, right? That's the simplest way I can describe it. You begin to put plans ahead of time to ensure that things are done appropriately, because sometimes we waste more money when we're trying to fix problems, right? But if we are proactive, we can be more efficient. So we plan ahead of time. We knew the date. We fixed the date ahead of time. Knew that we had this date. We had this working period. We had everything that we needed to achieve before a certain time. And when it was becoming critical, we raised an alarm and we made sure it was done so that before the day even happened, we had everything. I had, rented the cars that was going to take us to and fro.
Yeah.
That was going to take.
Hotels.
It was everything down to we had paid for hotels in advance. The hotel in Navy, the hotel in my place, the hotel that was going to, in between some of our friends. And super shout out to my colleagues. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be great without calling them out because I wasn't in the East, but the likes of Paul Oyeleke, the likes of
thank you guys.
the guys down in the East, Adams,
HOD,
even while in Lagos, he flew in. True to. All the guys, Spencer, all of you guys. It was amazing to see that. My colleagues actually were one of the biggest resources that I had for that wedding, because they were present, they were there, my friends, they stood in, and that is why it was super important, right? But we had to plan for them, for all the logistics that came with, and it was through their help, because we had guys who were we had people in the East that ran around, booked the hotel. Paul Oyeleke did this. We had people in Imo State that had to book my own side of the hotel. It was amazing.
And on top of that, they pulled a show.
Yeah.
Indomie came. I think, was it Hypo?
Yeah, I was in Hypo for sure. So Hypo came and
Indomie came.
Indomie came and
Did a show, pulled a show, give out like souvenirs and
yeah,
stuff. Like
and
guys really
we
appreciate
also
you.
had these dancers, right? That
Very
HOD
amazing.
brought.
Yeah.
They were there for they used to, and it was that was really a surprise to me because he never told me that they were going to come, and to date I still wonder how he managed to bring them because we had flight has gone up as at the time we were traveling, so he brought like four of these amazing guys who were also performing in some of the activation that we were doing down to Inewi, and they were there to show them. I only saw them at the time of their performance. It was a shocker for me. So shout out to you guys and shout out to HOD as well for such an amazing, amazing, amazing support.
Yeah.
And all the other guys.
At the top and maybe in the comments, you're going to see like us tagging the video to our wedding, so you go and see it.
Yeah, you can go see the wedding yourself.
You know.
Yeah.
And then again, even down to like even our photographers, we must mention that the videographers, we got somebody from the East who was very good and could handle all of that. So maybe what I'm just going to do is to like maybe tag the vendors as well. If you want to do anything in the East, maybe something very simple like ours. We don't like to call it a budget wedding because it wasn't really a budget wedding. We just felt that it was intimate for us. Then the last thing that we want to talk about is the support from our family and friends, which he has already said.
Yeah.
Because really, there was no way we could have done this without them.
Yeah.
People like his mom, my mom,
family,
my
mom,
sister, like our friends, people like Precious who flew all the way from the UK, Francisca Azike, who left her job, my beautiful architect, but she came to Newi, So it was like really like everybody had their hands on deck for us.
Yeah,
They had their hands on deck
I
for
can't
us.
even mention names because
Like-
Akintaya was there, amazing. My colleague Chetan was there, my Indian buddy.
Do you remember the night before the wedding?
Yes, we were in a
was
hotel. It was shut down. Literally was cracking everybody. Paul was organizing
Food, drinks,
everything.
like
Mr. Israel, and this was a sales, one of our sales heads in the East. He was there. I had every single area marketing manager from Tolaram that had any dealings with Hypo in the East was present. Joshua, Adams, I can go on and on. Like we had a mini party in the hotel. Shout out to Inewi Hotels, the Inewi Hotels.
we know they carry last.
It was amazing. Even though we didn't have to sleep in Inewi because we had to travel to the East. To my own part of
place,
the and part
culture.
of the customary that I have to bring back my bride.
They say I have to go.
But these guys were still in every day and they held it down. And I mean, it was a lot of love. And also from WhatsApp, a lot of my friends that we reached out, that also in terms of support, financial support as well. It's a lot.
There are lots.
If I start mentioning names,
where we go stop?
Like it's crazy. People I didn't even expect showed up, and the strategy for us was that we didn't really just put everybody in a WhatsApp group. So like what people do, you just sleep and wake up and you see yourself in the wedding WhatsApp group. That was not what we did. We sent like a message to a couple of people that we knew might be interested in coming, or just so that they are part of the plan, so that Paul can also take their names. We can have them hotels booked for them before time. And then we just shared like a broadcast and made it optional. So if you wanted to be a part of it, if you wanted to come, click on this link and join the group. And it's super better to do it that way, so that people join on their own terms. They join knowing that, okay, yes, I'm going to join the group.
Some people just join to see the gist.
They're
not going to contribute anything.
But in our group was different. I think they joined, and it was just engaging. The people that couldn't come send their love and support. And it was amazing.
Yeah, so guys, those are just our very simple tips, on how we were able to plan our wedding from 2 different continents. All right. In the description box, you're going to find the exact same template that we used just for the traditional wedding, guys.
We're going to do another wedding.
With what?
In Santorini. Akina.
That one is not wedding. That one is like renewal of vow, my love.
Is that what they call it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
You say you're shifting. You don't want to renew your vow.
No, I didn't shift. She's like, I didn't shift. How can I shift? I'm close.
Alright, guys.
So
thank you so much for watching this video, and do well to download the template in the comment section. In the description box if you need it for your traditional wedding. We love you and stay safe.
Stay
Bye.
safe, guys. Bye. Hey.
Exactly what I want you about to do.